Today's episode of Off the Timeline is titled, What If Justin Fields Chose Illinois Instead of Ohio State? Justin Fields didn't choose Ohio State, he chose Illinois, and in one decision, a program that hadn't mattered in years suddenly had the most dangerous quarterback in college football. But this what if scenario isn't a story about Illinois becoming good. This is a story about how one transfer cost Georgia an SEC championship, derailed Ohio State's season, and quietly changed who got into the college football playoff. Because the quarterback everyone thought that would save a powerhouse ended up breaking the entire system instead. And that sets the table to the decision that almost was. To understand how insane this alternate history timeline is, you have to go back to 2018. Justin Fields arrives at Georgia as one of the most hyped quarterbacks in the country. Five-star, future face of the sport. But Georgia already had a quarterback in Jake Fromm. He was efficient, steady, and trusted. And in a program chasing a national title, trust beats upside. So Fields becomes a package player, a change of pace option, a glimpse of what could be. And that works until it doesn't. Because by the end of the 2018 season, Georgia is right there again. SEC championship, Alabama, everything on the line, and they lose again. Not because they weren't talented, not because they weren't prepared, but because the moment demanded something different, and they didn't have it. No changeup, no second gear, no Justin Fields offense. And that's where everything starts to crack. And that sets the table for the transfer nobody saw coming. After the season, the conversation changes. Quietly at first, then all at once. Justin Fields is looking to transfer, and immediately the assumption is obvious. Ohio State, big stage, proven system, Urban Meyer pipeline. It makes too much sense, which is exactly why this timeline breaks. Because instead, Fields chooses Illinois, and at first it doesn't make sense to anyone. Not to SEC fans, not to Big Ten fans, not even to Illinois fans. But behind the scenes, the sell was different. This wasn't about joining a system, it was about becoming one. Lovie Smith and his staff didn't promise wins, they promised control. You, quote unquote, you won't compete for a job, you'll define the offense. And for the first time, Fields isn't the future, he's the present. And that sets the table to the most important scheme change nobody saw. Here's where this becomes bigger than one player. Illinois doesn't just plug Fields into a normal offense, they rebuild everything around him. Spread concepts, QB run game, vertical off motion, it looks different. Not Big Ten different, future different. And early on, it's messy. Illinois starts 3-2, with lots of turnovers, missed reads, and growing pains. And if you're watching at the time, it feels exactly what you'd expect. A great player stuck on a rebuilding team. But then something clicks, the timing sharpens, the reads speed up, the confidence builds, and suddenly Illinois is not experimenting no more. They're elite. And that sets the table for the game that changed everything. Mid-season, Illinois versus Ohio State. And this is where the timeline snaps. Because in our reality, Justin Fields is Ohio State's quarterback, undefeated, Heisman contender, playoff lock. Instead, he's standing on the Illinois sideline, wearing orange and blue, and from the first drive, you can feel it. Illinois is not overwhelmed. They're in control. QB runs stress the defense. Deep passes completed over the top. Ohio State starts adjusting, but it doesn't matter because everything they're seeing, they were not built to stop. Fourth quarter, tight game, national audience watching, and Fields makes the play. A scramble, a broken contain, throw on the move, touchdown! Illinois wins. And just like that, everything changes. And that sets the table for the ripple effect. That one game doesn't just create an upset, it creates a problem. Ohio State now has a loss they weren't supposed to have. The Big Ten race tightens. Michigan season opening, Penn State's in contention, and the entire conference adjusts. In Illinois, they're not a story anymore, they're a factor. Meanwhile, back in the SEC, Georgia keeps winning, but something feels off because every close game, every stalled drive, every moment where they need something extra, there's a question hanging in the air. What if? What if they had kept him? And that sets the table for the playoff consequence. By the end of the season, the playoff picture looks different because Ohio State's loss matters. Seeding changes, matchups change, and one team that would have been in is suddenly out. And it all traces back to one decision, not a championship game, not a miracle play, a transfer. Justin Fields didn't just elevate Illinois, he reshaped the path to the national title. And that's what makes college football different. It's not just about the best teams, it's about the right players in the right system at the right time. Because sometimes changing one decision doesn't create a new champion, it just changes who gets the chance. And in this timeline, Justin Fields didn't go where everyone expected, he went where he could change everything. And if you want more alternate college football timelines like this, where one decision reshapes the entire sport, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the next video on your screen, because there are a lot more timelines we haven't broken yet, and I'll see you in the next timeline.